Hey guys, Captain Foley back today for another first live reaction. Just to hang out with you guys for Strange New World Season 9 episode, or Season 3 Episode 9, Terrarium. Season 9, that'd be cool. But no, yeah, did the first reaction as always on Thursday last night. And today we are releasing our full edited review. And as such, yeah, I wanted to do another one because we're not doing our live complete review and breakdown today because, you know, Sam has something to do. So unfortunately that'll be on Monday, but I did want to jump in here and just kind of say, hey, what's up? And hopefully get a few people in different time zones, because a lot of people can't attend my late night one. And I thought, why not do another one here today? And yeah, so here I am. I don't know if anybody's going to show up, but I'm sure they will. This is the way. So, Troy Ulysses rocking the UK crew, yeah. Trying to hit a broader smattering of the time zones, because when I go live on Thursday nights, it's at 9 p.m. my time, which is a little late for some people, and I figured why not do one today, considering that we're not going to be able to do our regular breakdown and review later today. So I thought, why not? I'll come on for an hour or so and talk to you guys if you want to talk. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this episode? Hold on 1 second. There we go. No, cancel. Just give me a second. I just gotta mess with some stuff here. That's not the one that I wanted. So we'll wait for some people to filter in. I'll go from there. 10 hours, hour 2, that one. I'll be right with you. Hold on. All right, now we're good to go, I think. Terrence Child, hi Captain Foley. Hello, Terrence. How are you today? So yeah, I just want to talk about the episode. I thought it was an interesting episode, to say the least. Didn't expect the Metrons to show up, but like I said last night, and I've said a few times now, it's as if the episode Galileo 7 and Arena had a baby. This is what you would get. This is the result. And that's not far off from the truth. So I just wanted to come on here and chat about it with you guys. It gives heavy Enemy Mine vibes, and that's fine. I really enjoy Enemy Mine. And every Star Trek series has one of these. There's one in Enterprise with Trip and an alien, which is very heavy Enemy Mine inspired, as is this one. And then there's the TNG one with Geordi and the Romulan having to work together. And I love the message for Star Trek. I think it's really cool that, you know, people, you don't have to believe or listen to all the propaganda about your enemies, because your enemies are very much like you. And I think that's a good Star Trek message. So I think having Artigas have a episode for her, which was fantastic, because she's kind of been, I wouldn't say shafted necessarily, but she just hasn't really had the opportunity to have her own kind of episode. And I think this worked really well. The Gorn looked fantastic. The Metron also look good. There are a few issues I have, especially the ending. There's no reason that they would have sent down La'an and 3 other security officers decked out in tactical gear with phaser rifles. They had no indication that there was anything like that, anything dangerous on the planet. So for them to, I don't have as much an issue with them beaming down. I have an issue with them shooting at the Gorn instantly and not reading the context clues. Like, read the room on. Like, seriously, I get it. You have issues with the Gorn yourself, but that's just a little bit ridiculous to just fire. So yeah, and not only that, but fire on kill. Like, I would have preferred that the weapon should be set on stun initially anyway, every time. So that's a big issue for me. I would have preferred if they had shot it with stun, and, you know, just because of the infection and the injuries that the Gorn already had, that in fact, you know, contributed to its death, instead of just blasting the goddamn thing. Hold on just one second. I just got to do one thing. Perfect. So yeah, that's one of the issues I have with it. I think that needs to be addressed. La'an needs to be chastised for this. I mean, officially, as well as a lot of fallout with Ortigas, because this is a little bit bullshit. Now, also, the thing that is interesting to me as well is that the Metrons erased their memory of the Metrons being there, but let Ortigas keep the memory of what she experienced because it was genuine. And Uhura still knows about the Gorn, talks to Ortigas at the end about the Gorn and how, you know, the Gorn was your friend. Just remember that. So it still causes issues for Rena later. But anyway, and it was also brought up in something that I considered as well, that this was a female Gorn. Perhaps all we've seen in Strange New Worlds are female Gorn, and the Gorn, the male Gorns, like we see in Arena, being a captain, it could be that that's just how the male Gorn look, the ones in Arena, and not so much in are the females. So that's one thing I wanted to point out as well. So I have a few issues with the episode, but overall I think it was really well done. Not one of the best this season in my opinion. It was good, but I think it borrowed too much from other stuff. Like, so many things about Galileo 7. This could be Archimedes 1 and it would still have the same kind of vibe. I mean, marooned, some kind of alien life on the planet that's dangerous with the little bugs, having the vaccine on board the Enterprise, that they have a ticking clock to get the vaccine to a place to help people. That's a bit of a, there's a lot of Galileo 7 type vibes here. No commissioner or whatever causing problems for the captain, but instead we had Una doing the same thing. And also the ending, just honestly sending up a flare like they did in Galileo 7. Sorry, I just got to adjust the camera here. Sending up a flare like they did in Galileo 7, but this time, instead of just a flare across the planet's horizon, or like midline, this was the entire atmosphere being vaporized. So it was very similar in a lot of ways, and I don't know. I want to hear what you guys think about the episode, though. Put in your thoughts and comments down below. We had a really great discussion last night during my first reaction live, and I really want to kind of hear your thoughts and get your opinions out there, because, like I said, we are releasing our edited review later today, and as well, we usually do a live complete breakdown and review at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays. Not doing that today though, unfortunately. So instead of that, I'm doing this. The full review and breakdown will be on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for this episode. And then, yeah, then we got one more episode to go at the end of the week. And that live review and breakdown will also be the following Monday, because I have London Comic-Con this week coming up, or next weekend, sorry. And as a result, I'm going to be busy on Friday, so I won't be able to do the live with Sam for the breakdown and review. So that'll be on Monday as well for these last 2 episodes, which, just so you guys know. We got Troy Ulysses, who said, for me, I've watched a new episode at 8 p.m. my time. Then your first reaction isn't for 18 hours after that my time. Throw in TNG episode Darmok as well. Yes, Darmok's different enough though, but yeah, it's still very similar for sure. But like I said, each series has one of these. I mean, there's one where Tuvok and Voyager get the shuttle crashes and he has to befriend the lady. Like, not so much an enemy, but yeah, it's an ongoing trope in storytelling, and it's been around for centuries, this 2 enemies having to work together to survive and come to rely on each other and realize that they're not so different, and in fact they do actually kind of become friends. So it's a good story. It's a good moral message for Star Trek, and I think that, well, I mean, I don't mind them doing it for every series. But if you want the true like heart of the matter and the true core of the story, in my opinion, go watch the movie Enemy Mine with Dennis Quaid and Lou Gossett Jr. because it's phenomenal. So, but this one gave a lot of vibes of that with the dark lighting and things like that, and just the overall vibe, and even the creatures in the ground, because there's these kind of turtle-like things that burrow in the ground in Enemy Mine that they end up making their little hut with, because their shells are resistant to the meteor showers that happen on the planet. So yeah, Enemy Mine is the way to go if you want to check out this story in a different kind of vibe, but also the same vibe. So I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyway, I'll just stop talking now. Anton Smith, La'an shooting first may result in her leaving the service, could make way for Sulu. Possibly, yes. Yeah, that could be a good story point for sure. I believe that La'an is probably going to end up serving on another ship. I don't know if she's going to leave the service necessarily. The other thing I think for La'an is she's probably going to get recruited by temporal investigations, because she's already aware of them. And as a result, they're going to either have to fake her death, or they're going to have to erase her from the timeline. So that's going to be like why she's never mentioned again. But yeah, her just blasting away and not on stun. I got to point that out again. Their weapons would automatically be set on stun. They would not be set on kill. Not all of them would fire. Like it was ridiculous. And yes, it was a sad moment. I really felt for the Gorn, which didn't necessarily think I would, but I think that it was a very interesting way to handle that, and I don't know why they did that. I would have preferred that they just stunned the goddamn thing. Like I said earlier, context clues. They both came out of this little structure that they were in to survive the eruption. It's not like there was a huge room where Ortigas might not have known there was a Gorn coming out behind her. No, they were huddled together. Context clues, La'an. You're chief of security. Yes, I understand you have a history with the Gorn, but goddamn, don't just fire. And if you do fire on stun. A couple of stun shots from you and your team would have taken down a Gorn. I can understand one maybe not doing it, but come on, they all had phaser rifles. Also, there was no need for phaser rifles. They're beaming down to a moon that somebody crashed on. There was no indication of like life forms that could really be detrimental. They didn't mention that there are life forms underneath the planet's surface that could be dangerous to warrant taking phaser rifles. So I wish that would have just been standard phasers. I wish it would have been stun, and as a result of the stun, that the Gorn succumbed to their injuries, the infection and stuff. So anyway, that's my thought. Hey, Feed Me Seymour is here. How's it going, man? Troy Ulysses, I really enjoyed the episode. Inconsistencies aside, the ending was savage. Actually got me in the feels, which I honestly wasn't expecting. Dude, same. Also, earlier in the episode, when she had to eat that heart, or that part of that bug, my God, I almost I did gag. I almost threw up when she bit into it and it like oozed out. It was like, whoa. Every other time watching it, it was fine though. So, yeah. Feed Me Seymour. So I rewatched Voyager Season 3, Episode 2. Tuvok served on the Excelsior under Sulu. Now Tuvok, I think, said he was mid-20s. Is it possible child Tuvok could be introduced in Strange New Worlds? I mean, sure, yeah. I don't see why not. I kind of hope they don't do that, but I guess it's possible. Sure, anything's possible. Anything's possible if you put your mind to it. I think Marty McFly's dad said that. Matt Boardman, Vert to her, a second first reaction. Yes, Matt. Because we're not doing a live later today. We're doing that on Monday. So I figured, why not come on here for an hour or so, talk to people in other time zones that might not get to check out my first reaction. So, but yeah. Coquelin? It's a standard story trope seen in TNG, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, SG-1, etc. Obviously, Enemy Mine is the best example. This episode was okay, but not particularly memorable. Yeah, I think it's one that'll... Well, it stands out for a few reasons. It stands out because it's an Ortigas episode, which she never really gets one, and a likable Gorn that you actually feel for. So it will stand out in certain ways, but yes, I understand exactly what you're saying. And yeah, all the other shows have done one. Some have done them better, some have done them worse. I think the Enterprise one is great, but it's literally a carbon copy of Enemy Mine. And yeah, it was okay. It is a good story trope. It is. I like the message, the inherent message in it. Like, you're not so different from your enemy. So, and speaking of not being so different from your enemy, hit the like button. I'm not your enemy, guys. I'm just like you. I just like watching Star Trek and talking about it, good and bad. So hit the like button if you're watching this. There's 27 people watching and 11 likes. Get those likes up to 20 if we can. I'd appreciate it. So yeah, and comment. I want to hear your thoughts. I do read them all out. And if you want to super chat, you can do that as well. Much appreciated. Again, you don't have to, but if you can and would like to, that would be awesome. So anyway, oh, also on the Captain Foley personal channel today, check out a video. I did a video on this action figure. What's not an action figure? This statue of Command Officer. So check that out on the Captain Foley personal channel today. I would appreciate that as well. So Gavin Blackburn, Hell in the Pacific was the best version. Hell in the Pacific. I haven't seen that one. I think he was mirroring what I said earlier, that Enemy Mine is a good science, like, kind of, for me, the definitive science fiction version of it. But yes, the real world examples, like I said, this is a trope and a story element, a story beat that's been used for centuries to tell stories, if I'm honest. So, but yeah. Adrian Gofar. It was a glossy, neatly crafted episode, very different from the previous, more funny ones. But that X-Wing you have over your right shoulder, which one is that? It's one of the... I'm not sure. I've had it for a long time. It's a Hasbro one. It's got the little working, like, computer thing, and Luke's head turns, and R2 does sound effects, and it's got a little handle on the bottom and a trigger. Yeah, you can turn their heads and lights up and stuff like that. So I'm not sure which one it is exactly. I think it's... I don't know if it came out during Power of the Force or not. Good question. Don't know. Feed Me Seymour. It seems a little throwaway episode for the episode before last. It doesn't really feel like it sets up the cliffhanger ending of the season. It doesn't have to. This is an episodic show. This is a very episodic show, like TOS was, like TNG was. Yes, there are story arcs, obviously, but it's a standalone episode, kind of. I mean, they last time on heard about her PTSD, so I think that's fine. It doesn't have to be like fucking Discovery and everything else. It's all one massive story which could have been 4 episodes, but they stretch it into 10. And so, yeah, it doesn't have to be linking, in my opinion. Donnie is back. Ryan Ferguson, hi, Captain Foley. How's it going? It is going good, Ryan. Thank you for joining. Westy, what was with the Watcher character? Was that something from TOS? Dude, yes. Episode Arena, the Metrons. That's that's the TOS episode with the Gorn, where the Metrons, you know, are happy that Kirk doesn't kill the Gorn. So yes. Feed me Seymour. Is it possible that no legacy crew members may maybe introduce this season? No Sulu, no Bones, no Chekhov theory. They have 2 more seasons left after this. So this season showcased Scotty and more TOS. Yeah, I'm sure we'll see Sulu and McCoy at some point. Just even if they're just to get introduced to them, I'm sure we will. But yeah, not this season. Cuckold. One thing I like is that we often have Spitfires flying over where I live in the UK. It was great seeing Ortega's having a Spitfire model. Nice. Yes. Spitfire bomber. She had an SR-71 Blackbird. I would have preferred she had a Mustang, honestly, because I love the P-51 Mustangs over the Spitfires. I know you UK guys, Spitfire, and they're great. My Nana actually worked in a factory here in Canada that produced the spars for the wings of the Spitfires during World War II. So, yeah, I got a connection to the Spitfire, but I prefer the Mustang. Gavin Blackburn, more from reading the synopsis. I think the last episode may relate to the temple they found earlier in the season. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Kevin Scott, what if they scanned the planet and saw there was a Gorn close to Ortega, so they came down with 4 people armed, ready to fight? No, they didn't, because that would have been a line of dialogue on the bridge. Also, La'an looked legitimately surprised to see the Gorn, so no. Don't buy that for a second. The Dark Lord Revan, also, before I get to your super chat, thank you, by the way. You would have realized, and if you scanned a Gorn, you would have scanned that they were in close proximity to each other because the atmosphere just ignited and they were like huddled together. So again, context clues. Yeah, sure, take the phaser rifles down in that case, for sure. I still wouldn't have them set to kill. I would still have them set to stun. And then just the way that they came out together, like, come on. You're a bad security officer, La'an, for reacting the way you did. I get it, you have a history with the Gorn, but come on. Let's be serious. Anyway, the Dark Lord Revan, $2. Enemy mine, anyone? 100%. It's exactly what I was thinking the whole time. Textical. I like the overall tone of the episode. I was engaged throughout. What I didn't enjoy, overdramatic acting from Uhura, juvenile outbursts from Ortegas, guns ablazing, and Tom with the Metron's return. Or Torn with the Metron's return. Yeah. I think the Metron thing was fine. I like that they did say you're going to forget about us, and you're also... We might have to change your perception of the Gorn at some point. I thought that was cool, but I wish they would have fixed more in that circumstance. But Troy says, is it a reach to think Patel would change into a Gorn we are used to? For me, it would work perfectly to explain the difference, although they've not explained Disco Klingons change back to regular ones. It's not a stretch to say that, no, because she has a hybrid. That has been brought up a few times in our discussions, our live discussions and such. So, and yeah, the Disco Klingons, when they first came out, we thought of so many possible explanations that they could use that would have made a whole world of canon sense. They just didn't do any of them. So I'm not expecting them to address it, if I'm honest. Ryan Ferguson, if we were to get Star Trek Year 1 and if a TOS episode were to be remade, what would be your pick? First of all, I hope we don't get TOS Year 1. I think that's a stupid idea. Just visually, I think you can't do that. If you're going to do... Well, you could fill in the space between Strange New Worlds and TOS. There's a little bit of time there. And if I had to have one remade, what would be my pick? I mean, my favorite TOS episode, or probably my favorite is the Enterprise incident. I love that one. I would think either Balance of Terror or Doomsday Machine would be one that would be remade if they had to. But I hope they don't do that. There's no reason for it. So sorry about my pug. Precious, stop snoring. Just a staple around here. Feed me Seymour. I like the science room usage. It's nice to see a room where some kind of team debriefing or science talk isn't done on the bridge. Yes. Donnie says, I love Strange New Worlds, but I stand with those who don't want to a remake or a reboot of TOS. Hashtag curse year one. No disrespect to those who want that sort of thing. I can understand why people want it. I think it would look good, and I am liking the cast. I think it would be kind of fun, but at the same time, I don't want that to happen. And if they do, I just want them to address the fact that it's not the Prime universe, it's not the Prime timeline. It is in fact its own thing, separate even from Kelvin. It is the Discoverse. That's the way they should handle that if they're going to go that route. So. Pumi Seymour, I have a feeling that a crew member of Strange New Worlds will probably die by the end. My money is either on La'an or Artigas, as they have had near misses. Yeah, possibly. And I thought that during this episode, like, you know, if an episode happens with Spock or Kirk or Uhura, we know the outcome's going to be fine. But yeah, literally Artigas is an unknown. So is La'an. Like, Artigas could have died in this episode, and she doesn't have plot armor, like she doesn't go on. But I'm hoping that Una gets reassigned or gets be captain of her own ship, and she takes like Artigas with her. I think there's bigger things for La'an. La'an's either going to die or she's going to, like I said, become a member of temporal investigations and, you know, have to be written out of the timeline or some such thing. So, but yeah. Feed me Seymour goes on to say Gorn and Ortega's play chess, but not four-dimensional chess. Well, there's no such thing as four-dimensional. Well, I guess time is three-dimensional chess. And to teach anybody chess in such a short amount of time is difficult. So, Kevin Scott says we finally get to see a male Gorn, and he's super buff-looking, almost like TOS. This Gorn was female, Kevin. Or are you saying we finally get to see a male Gorn in Strange New Worlds and it looks like the TOS one? Yeah, I would be fine with that. I really would. I really would. Although Lower Decks did do an episode where the Gorn were getting married and there was a male Gorn and a female Gorn getting married, and the female Gorn had mammaries. She had the boobs. So it just looked like whatever. And to be fair, Lower Decks and Prodigy are the most canon accurate shows we've had. So small thing. Ryan Ferguson says, nice picks, Cap. What do you mean, nice picks? Zero Bang. Not sure if the overuse of CGI backgrounds or the paper mache rocks from TOS feel less realistic, but of all the things the Gorn was physical. Yes, they have a huge animatronic of a Gorn that they've used a few times now, and yeah, it was actually a physical animatronic, and it looks fantastic. Don't get me wrong, like I like the design of this alien. I just wish it wasn't a Gorn. It could be any other alien, and it's a beautiful animatronic, and it's a good character or a good species design, but it's just shouldn't be the Gorn. It's just that simple. So Feed me Seymour, what bugged me about this episode was how Ortegas is suddenly a master of Gorn technology and can fix its relay to send a signal. Yeah, that seems a little odd. I do like at one point she's like, can you help me with this? This is your equipment after all. But yeah, Scotty or Pelia I could maybe buy a little bit better than Ortegas because she says a few times she is a pilot. So yeah, I agree. Although her best friend is a communications officer, which probably helped her rewire the tricorder. Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem too for me. Feed me Seymour, remake the Cage. Hey, there you go. Yes, perfect. Christopher Mulrooney, to Metron or not to Metron? That is the question. Feed me Seymour. Okay, so no year one, but I kind of want to see Stargazer, Young Picard era. I don't. I want to see the Lost era. I'd like to see like Enterprise C era, as long as it's done well, not by the people in charge right now because they'll fuck it up. I want somebody like Mike McMahon or Aaron Waldke or the Hagermans to deal with something like that. People that respect canon, know the fans, know what the fans want. That's the people I want in charge of a Lost era show if they do it, not Kuntzman and his team of, I don't know what to say about that. I don't want the people in charge right now to do it because they'll fuck it up. It's that simple. Matt Boardman, for female Gorn, are they goobs? Maybe. And they watch Gornography. Yeah. Feed me Seymour. La'an kind of makes a problem when it comes to Wrath of Khan or Khan in TOS anyway. How do you deal with Khan? We have his ancestor. It's not his ancestor, it's his descendant. She is his descendant. Used to work in the Enterprise. Where is she? Yeah, that's why I think Temporal Investigations is a possibility. She gets hired by Temporal or recruited by Temporal Investigations, and they have to erase her from the timeline, so nobody on the Enterprise remembers her. But she is a descendant, not an ancestor. Khan is the ancestor. Just want to point that out. Matthew Vincent, I'm here. I think I didn't like this one. Sorry to hear that. I thought it was good. I thought it was an adequate episode. It wasn't, I think the last two were probably better for me, but this was a good one still, nonetheless. Sorry to hear you didn't like it. Anton Smith, need a follow-up episode. Who mourns for the Gorn? Dun, dun, dun. Gorn, but not forgotten. Yeah. Kevin Scott says maybe there are different types of Gorn. It looks different, just like we have humans that look different all over the world. Yes, we've talked about that as well. To be fair, humans all look alike, though, as far as physical appearance. It's just skin tone and textures might be different, but that's about it. So this Gorn looks nothing like another Gorn. That being said, it is a hegemony, which means, you know, a bunch of amalgamated worlds together. So it could be a different offshoot of the Gorn. Yes, we've talked about that. It makes a lot of sense. I just wish it would be addressed, and it's not going to be. So it's wishful thinking and just screaming into the void at this point. So Tim McCaffrey, no more prequels. Nothing before Picard season 3 ever again, please. Disagree. I love the prequel stuff, but yes, they do need to do new stuff post Nemesis, post Voyager, and beyond, but not 32nd century. So yes, I agree. And yes, fill in the gap. I want the Lost Years era. I want it done well. I want it done right. Alien Earth has a mix of man in a suit, a xenomorph with some CGI. The Gorn was all practical, I assume. I believe it was all practical. I'm not 100% sure on that. There might have been some CGI tampering, but I doubt it. And yeah, good on Alien Earth for doing that, because the suit is, you know, I like the practical stuff. So Feed me Seymour. When the Gorn was introduced, a brief moment before the reveal, I thought, wait, is this Dr. Smith from Lost in Space, Gary Oldman? Kind of reminded me of his spider form. Yeah, you know, I love that movie. I love Lost in Space. The last, like, third of the movie falls down for me. It's not that great. The first part, though, I really love. And I love the casting. I think all the casting is great. Mimi Rogers, come on now. Heather Graham, oh, yes, please. Yeah, I think Lost in Space is kind of one of my guilty pleasure movies. But yeah, the ending's just not great. It felt very rushed, much like this episode kind of just fell apart at the end. Donnie says, I'm glad I'm not the only one who welcomes disagreements on social media. No, you're supposed to have disagreements on social media. That's the point, but do it respectfully, that's all. Dustin D. Smith Falls Bears fan. That's a mouthful. Says, I like this episode way better than camera shaky episode. Okay. Yeah, camera shake doesn't work for a lot of people, so. Donnie says, same with Super Sentai since 2001 and Power Rangers since 2002. Don't know what you're talking about. Feed Me Seymour. She made water machine. Quick question. Why does it have a satellite dish on top? LOL. Well, that's for gathering moisture in the atmosphere, in the air, and condensing it down into the thing. It's a collection thing. But yeah, I thought it was a little transmitter at first. Dustin says, how about a Star Trek taking place on the Constitution class ship focused on the career of Starfleet officer Captain Mark Jameson? Would be cool if done right. Mark Jameson. No idea who that is. So, Feed Me Seymour. I want that hectagon fire starter with the Starfleet Delta. You know, that's the way to light a cigar. Yeah. I liked their kit with the little flare and the knife and stuff. I think that was really cool. I wouldn't be surprised if they make that, honestly, somebody at some point, because it'd be easy enough to do. Although lighting anything in that, like, it looked so beautiful. And then you got the Delta where the flame comes out. That would all get scorched and it would be hard to be clean up and stuff like this. It's fine. It's fine. Dustin, Star Trek Power Ranger crossover movie would be fun. 100% no. It would not. Cucklid, do we have any info for the season finale next week? No, just the episode title is, I believe, New Worlds and New Civilizations. So, Tim McCaffrey, Admiral who took the anti-aging thing. Oh, okay, yeah. Gotcha. Sure, yeah, that'd be all right. That'd be kind of cool to see. I agree with that. I do. But, yeah. Feed Me Seymour. Her ship sinking into the dirt felt cliche, but I didn't mind. I think it was deliberately done by the Metrons, if I'm honest, because the light was right above the shuttle before it happened. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. They also created the wormhole, so I don't have an issue with that, but it absolutely was cliche. So, Sussy Guru 2000 throws in €5 as a super chat. Thank you so much. That is amazing. My favorite episode this season, finally, they didn't treat the Gorn as a monster. Thought I could have done without, though I could have done without the Metron reveal. Yeah. You didn't need the Metron at the end. I like that it kind of ties it to Arena, and that the Metrons have been studying the Gorn and the humans, both barbaric races, mind you, for a long time now to see if they can broker a peace or see if there's a possibility that they will eventually not be against each other. I didn't mind the Metron showing up. It was a nice surprise. But as I've said a few times, I said at the beginning of this is very much, if 2 episodes of Star Trek had a baby, it would be Galileo 7 and Arena had a baby. This is the episode you'd get. And then it fell in a big vat of enemy mine soup. And that's fine. Classic for Real is here with Yo Cap. Yo, Classic for Real. Oh, sorry, shit. Dustin, Metron, are they related to the Q continuum? No, not everybody has to be related to everybody else. I think that's just stupid. It's a big universe, it's a big galaxy. No. They're just another omnipotent species that has moved past its physical form to become non-corporeal. Feed Me Seymour. There is only one crossover. X-Men and Star Trek, Next Generation Picard, Professor X, one day. That's already been done. It was done in comics, and it was also done in novel form. The X-Men and Star Trek crossovers. So, don't believe me? Look it up. Dustin says Star Trek Top Gun would be a fun crossover movie. No. I love Top Gun, but no. A Star Trek fighter pilot show? That might be interesting. I don't know if that's what you meant, but you don't need to cross Star Trek over with everything. I just think that's kind of stupid. Kevin Scott, maybe the Metrons manipulated the Enterprise crew to make sure they came and got Ortegas. It would explain Uhura being a little out of character doing something like that. Yeah, I never considered that. her fudging the numbers from 56 to 61, I thought was questionable at best. I love that Pike addressed it at the end, saying, yeah, I know you fudged the numbers. I would have done it anyway. But yeah, it's interesting. It could have been the Metron's influence for sure. Classic for real. Sorry I missed last night. I came just in time for the stream to have been over by a minute. Hashtag Stewart After Dark. Yeah, I keep them to about an hour if I can. So sometimes they go longer, sometimes an hour and a half, sometimes two, but we like to keep it around an hour. And last night I had other stuff I had to do, so had to cut it short. Feed me Seymour. Okay, I had one problem. The moon going through a gas giant would have destroyed the moon, not cause a storm. I thought it was a bad writing on their part. Also, how they would survive that in the Gorn tent. The Gorn tent had a shield around it until Artigas accidentally destroyed it. But yes, you are correct. I had an issue with that too. The orbit of the moon cutting through the thermosphere of the planet would probably decimate the atmosphere of the moon every time it happened. Also, I had a little bit of an issue with that moon having an atmosphere, but again, it's a small thing in the grand scheme of things. Classic for real, Kirk. Dr. McCoy, Bones and Beast. Yes. Yes. Dustin says, Skydance is looking for ways to make money with Star Trek. There's thousands of ways to make money with Star Trek. Merchandising. Like Spaceballs. I mean, back in the 90s, man, video games galore for Star Trek. There was Playmates toys of every figure, pretty much. You got ships from Playmates. You had so much cool merchandise back then, and lately the merchandise for Star Trek has just dried the fuck up. They don't even bother, and they're leaving a lot of cash on the table by doing that. They really need to step up their game and actually put some effort into merchandising. Phoebe Seymour says it was nice to see a new wormhole. Yes, yes. Star Trek Stargate would make the most sense of a crossover. I mean, Egypt people had symbols just like the Trill. Sussy Guru, the show is really inconsistent with discipline. Ortegas got relieved of duty for a few weeks, and here Uhura gets an everything's fine from Pike. To be fair, Uno was the one that disciplined Ortegas, and Pike is more of a friendly captain. He's more, my crew's my friends, they're not really my crew. He's got a more personal kind of vibe going on the bridge. So, and we don't know the results. She could be in trouble next episode, although I doubt she will be, but classic for real, the moon could have survived if the gas giant is what they call a puffy giant. Yeah, sure, I'd buy that. Dustin, at least the planet to was new to Star Trek. Yes. Phoebe Seymour, we need that 3-armed bartender. Offer her a job. Last scene of episode 2 of season 3. Yes. Yes. Anton Smith, for a moment, the female Gorn reminded me of E.T., especially the scene where E.T. played dress up. Yeah. Daniel Vance, expecting a Star Trek Ghost Space show now called Division 12. Yes, Division 12 is an interesting call out as well. And it's not in the closed captions for the one that I had. That whole section about, she said it, but it didn't, it's so classified that the subtitles didn't work for that section. So, but yes, Division 12 sounds interesting. And that was an interesting call out that they said that because, yep. Feed me Seymour, Star Trek Lego, yes. Action figures, video games, and more TV shows like The Lost Era, yes. Kevin Scott throws in $2. Thank you so much for the super chat, guys. Really appreciate it. 31 of you here, 21 likes. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up to 30. But Kevin Scott says, thanks for liking my theory. Anytime, man. Like, we love talking about theories here. That's why we love doing these lives where you guys can interact with us, because we a lot of times expound upon the theory, or like, you know, some are really good, some are not so good, but we still talk about them because it's fun. That's what friends do. 32 of you here, 31 of you here, 21 likes. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up to 30. But Kevin Scott says, thanks for liking my theory. Anytime, man. Like, we love talking about these lives where you guys can interact with us, because we a lot of times expound upon the theory, or like, you know, some are really good, some are not so good, but we still talk about them because it's fun. That's what friends do. Marco says, hi, Cap. I missed your live yesterday. I overall liked this episode. Hated La'an. Shoot first policy. Also, I was confused in one moment. Thought time was running slowly on the moon. Well, it was. Because the Metron stopped time. I love that transport effect, though. That looked really good. So I thought it was weird they played chess and the Gorn game, given the crunch on the Enterprise, even though I like the bonding. But overall, I enjoyed this one. Could be that, and somebody pointed this out last night, could be that Ortegas suffered from time dilation from going through the wormhole. So maybe time was moving at a different pace on the moon. We're not quite sure how much time elapsed. They didn't do a really good job of showing that. But yeah, stopping to make a chessboard and chess pieces and teach somebody how to play chess and then play 3 games where you lose and then learn their game seems like very time consuming and something you would see in the movie Enemy Mine, because they're there for years. They get stranded for years in that movie. So you'd want to kill the time. But yeah, they needed to build the friendship and they didn't have a lot of time left because it was only an hour-long episode. So they had to kind of put that kind of stuff in, even though it didn't quite make sense. So Dustin, what is the 3-arm bartender? It's same species, an Indosian, same species as Lieutenant Eric's from the animated series. At least she's supposed to be, even though they got the arms wrong, but that's fine. Sesagura 2000, I hope we get a bit more fallout between La'an and Ortegas for La'an just unloading on Ortegas' new Gorn friend. I do too. I really think La'an needs to be officially reprimanded as well. But also, yeah, a lot of issues between Ortegas and her I think would be great. Dustin, how would Star Trek DTI Section 12 even work out? I don't know. Drew it, or the whole episode was a test by the Metrons. Could be. Feed Me Seymour. Spock has been full human. Pike, La'an, Chapel, and Uhura became full Vulcans. If you pick one crew member to become another species, who would you want to see? Vulcan Scotty is my pick. Vulcan Scotty would be interesting. I'd like to see Pelia turn. She's Atlantanite. She is not human, but I'd like to see her turn into something where she could have a little bit of fun with it. Maybe an Andorian. I don't know. That's a good question. Dustin, I thought that it was the Traveler stop time. The Metron did stop time, yes, for the transport beam out. But again, for playing chess and stuff, the Metrons could have been stretching time on the moon for them so that they were there for a lot longer than we thought they were. So time on the Enterprise will be moving differently. Classic for real. Traditionally, for any franchise, the merch is going to be the most profitable sector by far. Polar Lights, AMT, and mobile games are doing a lot of heavy lifting to keep it on air. Yeah, but not a lot of people build AMT model kits because they can't build models. A lot of people, same with Polar Lights. Mobile gaming, I don't like mobile games. I have like Star Trek Timelines on my iPad. I had Trexels. I don't like Fleet Command. Like I don't want to play those. I want to play good PC games. And we do have 2 coming out with Star Trek Infection and Voyager Across the Unknown. So we've got 2 games coming out, which is great. So Feed Me Seymour, where is Captain Archer as of Strange New Worlds? Dead? On vacation? In a museum? He'd probably be dead at this point because he'd be like 150 years old. But maybe older. Marco, yes, I thought it was similar, like with the Voyager episode with Tuvok and the alien girl. Yes, absolutely it was. And Geordi and the Romulan, and Trip and the alien guy. I can't remember his name. It's been done a lot of times in Star Trek. Lieutenant Eric's, yes. Marco, but that made sense, what you said. Thank you. I don't know what I said, but thank you. Mr. N. Bridger. These days, Hollywood is so original, combining 2 Enterprise plots, Dawn and Observer Effect. No, they combined they combined Galileo 7 and Arena. but you're also right. So, Feed Me Seymour. I'm pretty sure for a brief second the Enterprise turns up and there is a slight essence of a rainbow trail. LOL. That's how they got there quick. Scotty is on board now. Okay. Kevin Scott really did not like the Vulcan Pike. I did. I thought he was hilarious. He was like a standout for me in that episode because I thought it was great. Very Conehead-like in his delivery, but I thought it was funny. Dustin says Pike and La'an both really felt a lot more Romulan than Vulcan when they transformed into Vulcans. I mean, Pike, I can maybe see that a little bit, but yeah, La'an for sure, and that was the point. Classic for real. I'm thinking the interior layout of the Voyager is in Across the Unknown deserves its own Trekyards deep dive. Yes, I think you can also reconfigure the rooms as you see fit, so everybody will have a different layout. So we'll see. Classic for real. We'll see. Dustin says maybe Archer's body is being preserved at Section 31 headquarters. Maybe. Feed Me Seymour. Metrons went full Men in Black, neuralizing Ortega so she wouldn't remember. Cucklid. I'm worried that we won't get any new Trek content after Strange New Worlds and Academy Season 2 with the Skydance Paramount merger. What do you think? Oh, we're absolutely going to get more Trek stuff because Kurtzman's contract is coming up soon, so he might be out. They do have an interest in Star Trek, and there are people in charge that are big Star Trek fans. So they are pushing for the next Star Trek 4 Kelvin film, which will be great. And I'm sure we're going to get more Star Trek. We might get a bit of a break while they get their shit together. But I think overall it'll be something that we'll see more of. So Zero Bang, I'm waiting for Star Trek Armada 4 mod for Sins of the Solar Empire 2. Yeah. Marco, oh, I meant the time dilation part with Tuvok, but yes, the enemy mine as well. Oh, okay, yeah. Feed Me Seymour, we haven't seen Kyle in a while since season 1. They should bring him back more, give him more story. I'm fine with him not being there and just being maybe transferred to another ship for a time. I don't. They already have enough of an ensemble cast that I think a lot of people get shafted as far as storylines go because they have to give everybody something to do in most cases. So nobody gets the time they really need. But Mark Henson finally got the chat to work. It wasn't working earlier. Anyway, great episode. My favorite so far. Damn La'an for killing that Gorn though. Damn augment bitch. Yeah. Dustin. Skydance went strange. Star Trek want new Star Trek that get back to basic Star Trekking. Yes. Classic for real. I'm predicting we'll probably get more animation, maybe even Prodigy Season 3. I severely doubt that. The writing team for that's moved on, unfortunately, because they couldn't wait around. I would love to get more Prodigy, though. Prodigy is the best of the new Star Trek series by far. Head and shoulders above all the others, except Lower Decks. Lower Decks is right up there with them. But, yeah, Prodigy was phenomenal, and needed more time, needed more love. It did get the shaft, unfortunately. And not in a good way. Not the good shaft. I don't know what that means. Feed Me Seymour says, I may be wrong, but the documentary episode was that the first time the Enterprise visits a star? I mean, it's called Star Trek, but it's mostly planets. Mostly. I mean, they've slingshot around a star. No, there's been other instances where the Enterprise D has gone to study a star. Yeah, no. It's not the first instance at all, actually. Dustin says, maybe Kyle is on temporary assignment to Farragut. Maybe. Feed Me Seymour. Production company is called Skydance. That company name alone needs a space franchise to back it. Yeah, I kind of agree. 33 of you here, 23 likes, guys. Hit that like button. Try to get those likes up to 30 if you can. If you can super chat in, please do so. But I'm going to be calling it quits here in a few moments. I just wanted to come on and touch base with you guys and let you guys know that there is no live review and breakdown today at 4, like there usually is. It'll be on Monday. And same with the next week's, with the season finale. Our review will be on the Monday after, not the Friday. So just so you guys are aware, I thought I'd come on here and chat about it. I might come on next Friday as well to do... Oh, I won't be able to. I'm busy next Friday. That's why we can't do it. Never mind. So, but if you enjoy these live first reactions, let me know, because I think that might be something we can do moving forward, or at least do some afternoon lives with just me, hanging out with you guys, even when there's no new Trek on, if it's something you're interested in. I'll probably do most of them on my Captain Foley personal channel, not the Trekyards channel. So if you're not subscribed over there, please go do so. Just Captain Stuart Foley, or just Captain Foley personal channel. You should find it on YouTube, no problem. Just released a video today, as I do every Friday, looking at this Star Trek command figure. And I mean, Classic for real will like that. So Classic, go check out my video on this lady, which just came out today. Classic for real says it's called Star Trek, and I don't think not once they've seen them go on a hike, at least since Final Frontier. Marco, I love La'an as a character and can understand her trauma, but this wasn't written very well at this point for her character. Seemed more like an early season 1 moment for her. Absolutely agree with you, yes. Classic for real has gifted 1 Trekyards membership. So Marco, welcome to the team. Gifted a membership by Classic for real. Welcome aboard, Marco. We got a 1-month free membership. Thank you so much, Classic, for that. Feed Me Seymour, theory. Dr. Boyce won't be introduced as part of the crew because he already left. Wasn't the cage before Discovery and Strange New Worlds, and he was part of the crew then. So theory, he's gone. Yeah, he's gone. The cage happened like 2 or 3 years prior to when we get introduced to Pike in season 2 of Discovery. I don't know why people don't understand that. There's a whole episode about it. So yes, the cage already happened. Dr. Boyce is gone. I would like to see him come back though, maybe, and hang out with Pike. You know, offer him some old man advice. I think that'd be great, honestly. And Classic Reese says, Bishujo, yes, it is. And it's the second one I've got. I did a video on her a few years ago. So they're both on my personal channel. Go check them out, Classic. It was nice to watch you live in the UK, as normally it's too late. Please do more, and thanks for the opinion on the latest Strange New Worlds episode. Thank you. I'll take that in consideration. Yeah, I figured hitting it earlier would be better for different time zones, so I like the idea of a first reaction. Feed Me Seymour. Not only do I think Dr. Boyce won't join the crew, I mean, he may not turn up on an episode, but I reckon Dr. Boyce served Robert April, then Pike before leaving. Yeah, I would absolutely think that, yes. I really want Kirk and La'an to do a mountain holiday. Okay. Classic for real. There was literally a sequel to The Cage back in Discovery, so I'm not sure why people don't get it either. Yeah, and even showed the real, actual TOS Cage Enterprise with the spikes on the nacelles as a part of it. So fucking angering. But yeah. Colonel Chris says, is the usual live still happening? No, that's why I'm on right now. It'll be happening on Monday. Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the complete review and breakdown will be. Sam is busy this week. I'm busy next week. So for the finale, we're also not doing the complete review breakdown on Friday. It'll be on the Monday after. So this upcoming Monday is for this one, and then the following Monday is for the finale. So yeah, I just thought I'd come on and you know, let you guys know that sometimes it happens, just the way its schedules line up. We have real lives and all, so unfortunately, yeah, it'll still get it. It'll just be on the Monday. Hope that's okay. Feed Me Seymour, holding out on the flashback Robert April command of Enterprise with Pike and Una, also Dr. Boyce and Non. Oh, yeah. I would love to see a flashback episode with them. Colonel Chris says, copy. Thanks, Cap. No problem. Hope you can join us for those. And try Ulysses' Shaft theme. They say this cat Sing is a bad motherfucker. Shut your mouth. I'm talking about Sing. Then we can dig it. She's a complicated woman. Well, on Nini and Sing. Yes. Yes, she is. All right, guys, it's been an hour. I thought this would be a fun experiment to try, and you guys have came through, and I appreciate you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like button before you nope out, though. There's 32 of you here and 27 likes. Let's get those likes up to 30. But yes, I am enjoying my time chatting with you, but I do have to go. I have things I need to do. So until next time, guys. Have yourself a fantastic day, a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday for the complete review and breakdown. There is a full review from Sam and I that's edited, though, that's coming out later today on this channel, so stay tuned for it. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have yourselves a great day. Bye, everybody.